She waited 33 years to wear a tiara, and when she did, it changed royal style forever. Princess Lilian's jewelry wasn't just beautiful, it told the story of an extraordinary life. What made Scandinavian aquamarine her modern signature? A love that blossomed in the shadows of World War II. A forbidden affair between a dashing prince and a spirited commoner, destined to wait over 30 years for its moment in the sun. But this is not just a tale of patience. It's also the story of a woman who, upon finally stepping into her royal role in her 60s, reinvented royal style itself, embracing sleek and modernist aesthetics. To understand how Lilian's journey began, we have to return to the uncertain days of wartime London, where an unexpected meeting changed everything. A wartime romance that challenged tradition. In 1943, against the backdrop of a city transformed by war, Lilian May Davies and Prince Bertil of Sweden began a romance that would quietly challenge royal tradition. Lilian, a Welsh-born model and actress, had crafted a life of independence and possibility in London. She balanced her career, her social life, and her own sense of adventure, adapting to the demands of a city under siege. Prince Bertil, serving as a naval attaché at the Swedish embassy, moved through diplomatic circles far removed from Lilian's world. Their first meeting was immediate in its impact, a connection forged in the uncertainty of wartime London. Lilian would later recall, "He was so handsome, my prince," a sentiment that captured the spark between them. Their relationship deepened quickly. The chaos of the Blitz created a sense of urgency and intimacy, and the dangers outside made the time they spent together feel even more precious. When Lilian's flat was damaged during an air raid, she moved into Bertil's residence. It was a bold decision, but it gave them a haven where they could share laughter and companionship away from the expectations and scrutiny of the outside world. Their bond grew in these quiet moments, shaped by both their differences and a profound mutual understanding. Yet their happiness came with daunting challenges. The Swedish royal family, bound by strict laws and tradition, presented a nearly insurmountable obstacle. Swedish princes forfeited their dynastic rights if they wed commoners, a rule that became critical in 1947 when Bertil rose to heir presumptive after his brother's death in a plane crash. Suddenly, Bertil's personal choices carried national consequences. If his young nephew, Carl Gustaf, ascended the throne before adulthood, Bertil would be needed as regent. The king made it clear. Marriage to Lilian would mean giving up his royal standing and his duty to the crown. For Lilian and Bertil, this meant living in the shadows. Official events and royal ceremonies passed without Lilian at Bertil's side. She watched from afar, her presence unacknowledged but always felt. Despite the exclusion, Lilian remained steadfast, never publicly voicing complaint or frustration. Her patience and quiet dignity began to inspire empathy within the royal family and among the Swedish public. They built their life together at Villa Mirage in Saint-Maxime, France, a retreat where they could simply be themselves. Later, they shared a discreet home at Villa Solbacken in Stockholm. Their daily routines, filled with warmth and laughter, spoke to a partnership built on trust and enduring affection. Friends noted the ease and genuine happiness that marked their private life, even as the world outside remained complicated. Within Stockholm society, their relationship became an open secret. Whispers circulated, but Lilian's composure and loyalty to Bertil shifted perceptions over time. She was never officially invited to royal events, yet her presence was felt through her unwavering support. What could have fueled scandal instead became a quiet example of devotion. Lilian's self-restraint and grace earned her admiration, both within the family and among those who came to understand the depth of her sacrifice. Their story was shaped by the extraordinary circumstances of their meeting and the relentless demands of royal duty. The war had stripped away pretense, revealing the strength of a bond that endured decades of waiting and uncertainty. Lilian and Bertil's decision to place duty above personal happiness while never abandoning each other challenged the established boundaries of royal life. Their endurance and patience became a silent force for change, gradually shifting attitudes within the monarchy. As years passed, their steadfast partnership began to symbolize more than a private romance. It hinted at the possibility of a more modern, compassionate royal family. The world around them was changing, and so was the monarchy. The question lingered: would there ever be a moment when love and tradition could finally coexist? The day their love conquered the crown. Change arrived for Sweden's royal family in 1973, when King Carl XVI Gustaf took the throne after his grandfather's passing. The young king's approach quickly signaled a break from tradition. In June 1976, he married Sylvia Sommerlath, a German-Brazilian commoner, setting a new precedent that reverberated through the royal household. This act was more than personal. It was a public statement that the monarchy could evolve with the times. For Prince Bertil and Lilian, the king's decision opened a door that had been closed for over 3 decades. Public sentiment had already begun to shift. In 1972, Lilian made her first official royal appearance at King Gustav VI's 90th birthday celebration, a quiet acknowledgement that her presence was gaining acceptance. Still, as the monarchy modernized, many Swedes watched and waited, wondering if Bertil and Lilian's steadfast devotion would finally be recognized. Their story had become a national legend, marked by patience and quiet dignity. When the couple's engagement was formally announced in 1976, it was met with a sense of closure and celebration that had been building for years. But how did a woman in her 60s transform a royal wedding's rules and her own destiny? On December 7, 1976, nearly 33 years after their first meeting, Lilian and Bertil were married at the Royal Chapel of Drottningholm Palace. The ceremony was intentionally intimate, a marked difference from the grand spectacles often associated with royal unions. The focus shifted away from pageantry to the meaning behind the day, the culmination of loyalty, hope, and the quiet endurance of love. The understated setting allowed the emotion of the moment to take center stage. Lilian, at 61, chose a pale blue gown designed by Elizabeth Wondrak. The dress, with its clean lines, bell sleeves, and subtle 70s flair, reflected her preference for color over the traditional white, a choice that would later become her signature. The gown's simplicity and elegance matched the tone of the ceremony and echoed Lilian's approach to style, modern yet respectful of tradition, dignified but approachable. This sartorial decision not only suited her age and experience, but also reinforced her individuality within the royal context. The ceremony itself became a symbol of change for the Swedish monarchy. It represented a move away from rigid expectations and toward a more personal understanding of duty and affection. King Carl XVI, Gustaf's willingness to set aside old rules had made this union possible, and the Swedish public responded with enthusiasm. For many, Bertil and Lilian's marriage was not just a personal victory. It was evidence that tradition could bend when faced with genuine devotion. There was, however, a quiet sense of reflection woven into the joy of the day. Decades of waiting had come to an end, but the path had not been easy. Friends and family who witnessed the ceremony spoke of the relief and admiration they felt for the couple's perseverance. Bertil, usually reserved, openly displayed his affection, holding Lilian's hand tightly throughout. Their bond, so long kept private, was finally recognized for what it was, a partnership built on trust, sacrifice, and mutual respect. The Swedish people welcomed Lilian wholeheartedly. Her loyalty and grace had already earned their respect long before she gained an official title. Becoming Her Royal Highness Princess Lilian, Duchess of Halland, was a formal acknowledgement of her role as Bertil's partner and as a valued member of the royal family. The title was not just a symbol of status, but a validation of the life she had built alongside Bertil, marked by patience and unwavering support. Their wedding did not erase the years of waiting or the sacrifices made, but it did mark a turning point. The simplicity and sincerity of the day reflected the values Lilian and Bertil had carried throughout their lives together. For Lilian, marriage brought not only public recognition, but also the opportunity to fully inhabit her place within the royal family. Her style, refined, modern, and quietly distinctive, would soon become a defining element of her new role, offering a glimpse into how she used fashion and jewelry to express the story of her remarkable journey. What she chose to wear after decades of silence wasn't just elegant, it was revolutionary. Let's take a closer look at the jewels that told her story. Jewels of Resilience, Lilian's personal style. Princess Lilian's personal style drew from a lifetime of observation and experience, shaped by her early years as a fashion model and actress in London. Her time in the world of fashion gave her an intuitive sense for what flattered her and what made an impact, but she always favoured a look that was understated and intentional. Rather than relying on opulence, she chose pieces that spoke to her journey, creating a wardrobe and jewellery collection that felt both modern and deeply meaningful. Her jewellery collection became a direct reflection of this philosophy. Lilian blended historic royal heirlooms with contemporary pieces, using each to tell a part of her story. The Boucheron laurel wreath tiara, inherited from Princess Margaret of Sweden, was a prime example. With its stylized laurel motif, the tiara connected Lilian to the royal family's past, symbolizing victory and honor. She wore it at major state occasions, its classic design reinterpreted through her own modern sensibility. Lilian's ability to make such a traditional piece feel fresh and relevant set her apart, showing how she respected royal history while bringing her own perspective to the role. Aquamarines became Lilian's signature, setting her apart from other royals. She owned a suite of aquamarine jewels, a ring, earrings, and a brooch, all designed with minimalist architectural cuts that reflected the Scandinavian modernist aesthetic. These pieces, with their cool blue tones and clean lines, suited her understated approach while also referencing the natural light and clarity so valued in Scandinavian design. For Lilian, aquamarines were more than just beautiful stones. They were a personal emblem, representing both her modern taste and her unique place within the royal family. Other jewels in her collection also carried personal significance. The diamond and pearl wedding brooch, worn on her wedding day, was a subtle yet powerful symbol of her long journey to the altar. Its restrained elegance mirrored the dignity and patience that defined Lilian's life. Her pale blue shantung silk wedding gown, designed by Elizabeth Wondrak, further demonstrated her thoughtful approach. With its clean lines, bell sleeves, and subtle 70s silhouette, the dress broke from royal tradition without losing any sense of occasion. Lilian's decision to wear a feathered hat instead of a tiara for her wedding was another deliberate choice, highlighting her preference for practical, modern elegance. Lilian's appreciation for bold design was also evident in her Christian Nielsen amethyst and pearl necklace. The vibrant combination of deep purple amethyst and soft pearls offered a striking counterpoint to her usual palette, showing her willingness to experiment while maintaining refinement. For the grandest occasions, she selected historic pieces like the processional necklace, a regal strand of pale blue sapphires, pearls and diamonds with origins dating back to Crown Princess Victoria of Baden. Lilian wore this heirloom with natural grace, underscoring her ability to honor royal tradition without appearing weighed down by it. Yet, what made Lilian's style truly remarkable was her openness to accessible fashion. Among her collection were turquoise pendants and faux earrings created by Mimi Dien and Sina. These fashionable, non-precious pieces contrasted sharply with her high-value heirlooms, yet she wore them with the same confidence and sense of purpose. By pairing the historic processional necklace with her inexpensive turquoise set, Lilian demonstrated an inclusive approach to royal style. She proved true elegance transcends price tags, blending heirlooms with accessible adornments seamlessly. Every choice Lilian made was intentional, rooted in her story and her values. Her jewelry was never just for show. It was a way to communicate resilience, adaptability, and a respect for both past and present. She quietly modernized the image of royal accessorizing, making it approachable without sacrificing sophistication. In doing so, she earned admiration not only from within the royal family, but also from the Swedish public, who saw in her a model of grace under pressure. Lilian's style was, above all, about authenticity. She selected each gown, brooch, and necklace to reflect her life's journey and her belief in substance over spectacle. Through her choices, she set a new standard for royal fashion, one that valued meaning and personal connection as much as beauty. This approach would serve her well as she stepped into her public role, shaping how she was seen and remembered by those around her. A legacy of love and elegance. After marrying Prince Bertil, Princess Lilian quickly became a steady and familiar figure within the Swedish royal family. She approached her royal responsibilities with a sense of gratitude and humor that set her apart. Lilian's warmth and approachable nature stood out at official events, where she balanced regal composure with a grounded, authentic presence. Her style and character offered something new to the monarchy, an accessible elegance that resonated with both the royal family and the public. Lilian's commitment to her role became especially visible through her participation in the annual Nobel Prize ceremonies. From 1976 until her retirement in 2005, she attended nearly every ceremony, becoming a fixture beside Swedish leaders and international guests. Her presence at these events was more than ceremonial. She brought a sense of continuity and understated sophistication to the proceedings. Lilian's fashion choices, always elegant, often featuring her signature aquamarines, fit seamlessly with the refined atmosphere. Over the years, she became someone audiences expected to see, her quiet confidence helping to modernize the royal image without losing sight of tradition. Her sense of humor was legendary, a trait that endeared her to those around her and softened the formality of royal life. Lilian was known for her practical jokes and playful spirit, which brought levity to even the most formal occasions. One story often retold is her playful trick on President Reagan when she produced a fake ketchup bottle that appeared to squirt onto his suit, only for him to realize it was a joke. Moments like these showed a side of royalty that was both relatable and genuinely warm, making Lilian memorable not just for her poise, but for her wit. Within the royal family, Lilian's relationships ran deep. She and Queen Sylvia developed a close friendship, with Sylvia calling her one of her closest friends. Lilian and Bertil also became surrogate grandparents to the King and Queen's children, Crown Princess Victoria, Prince Carl Philip, and Princess Madeleine. Villa Solbakken, their home, became a gathering place where the younger royals could relax away from public duties, surrounded by affection and a sense of belonging. This atmosphere of family warmth and support reflected Lilian's ability to create genuine connections, strengthening the bonds within the royal household. Lilian's dedication did not fade after Bertil's death in 1997. She continued to champion his charitable interests, especially in sports, and remained an active figure in royal engagements. Her resilience in the face of personal loss and her willingness to keep serving underscored her commitment to both her family and her adopted country. Lilian's public appearances were never just about fulfilling obligations. They were opportunities to honor Bertil's memory and to give back to the community that had embraced her. What truly distinguished Lilian was her ability to bridge formality and approachability. She overcame early resistance as a commoner not by grand gestures, but through her authenticity and humility. Lilian's background made her relatable, and her enduring grace allowed her to wear a tiara at a state banquet while still sharing a laugh or a kind word with those around her. Her presence made the monarchy feel more accessible and human, helping to reshape perceptions of what it meant to be royal in the modern era. Over time, Lilian became a national treasure. Her story of patience, loyalty, and resilience resonated deeply with the Swedish public. Rather than simply fulfilling ceremonial duties, she embodied the values of perseverance and connection, reminding people that the true strength of royalty lies not in protocol, but in the ability to reach across boundaries with kindness and understanding. If you've enjoyed Lilian's story of grace and style, scroll down and hit like to share her legacy. Her life stands as a testament to the quiet power of authenticity, and her journey continues to inspire those who value both tradition and personal integrity. Looking back at Princess Lilian's journey, we see how her choices quietly shifted the boundaries of royal tradition. Her aquamarines remain a testament to how personal taste can rewrite tradition, reflecting her ability to blend individuality with duty. The jewels she wore, especially her aquamarine suite and the storied laurel wreath tiara, embody the subtle strength and modern sensibility she brought to the Swedish royal family. Share in the comments which of Lilian's jewels resonates most with you, her aquamarine suite or the storied laurel wreath tiara. Princess Lilian's quiet revolution continues to inspire modern royals and jewelry lovers alike.